Hey everybody, welcome back. This is March 24th. This is your daily creative reading, and I'm so pumped that you've joined me here again. This is Into the Infinite. I'm Charlie. I don't know why I'm singing it, but we'll go with it. We'll roll with it. So, this is my little space, and I'm so excited to get started for your daily creative reading. Before I do, though, I would like to invite the angels, my spirit guides, protectors, teachers, and their healing energy to this space, and I ask that it is a safe space that allows for the fullest expression of our light, humanity, and healing. So, I'm so excited. It's Thursday. I'm not going to touch the table because I'm going to shake it, but I'm dancing in my chair. So I hope that you are doing very well, my friends. So we are going to jump right in and start this hero's journey for the day. So Spirit, can you please give me some guidance cards for my creative collective here? And yeah. Whoa. Discover your superpower. Access 100% of your mojo. Your coffee's got to be strong today. It's got to be good. It's good. That is excellent. I love that. I'm also getting some like union energy, like relationship union energy. Yeah. I mean, that's lovely. And it's a 33 card, so that's really nice. That's a master number. Okay. Thank you so much, Spirit. Spirit's got me in such a playful mood, and for like no reason. You know, Abraham Hicks calls it just feeling frisky. It's frisky. It's like I'm a cat that's about to go running through the house yelling for no reason. Not really. That sounds exhausting. Okay, thank you so much, Spirit. Can you please clarify at the outset this hero's journey my creative collective is embarking upon today, this week, and whenever this reading resonates for them? Thank you so much. To the magic zone and celebrate the sacred gap. Maybe this gap is your kind of sacred zone right now, or the magic zone. So the magic zone, which says yeah, couldn't you see that? You mean you can't? No, I'm kidding. I'll show you in a minute. The magic zone, the exhilaration of discombobulation. Whew, that's a mouthful. The exhilaration of discombobulation. I mean, I've been there. Oh, I have the pamphlet, and I was a tour guide once. And then celebrate the sacred gap, give thanks for buffer time. And that is exactly what it is and what it does. I'm getting some Eight of Wands energy almost on this card. So it could be that there's, once you start to celebrate it, you really start to move forward in it. And it's also part of the letting go technique. Dr. David Hawkins, you know, you like, can I allow this emotion? Can I accept this emotion? Something along those lines. So it's really like leaning into it as opposed to continuing to fight it, right? So where you are is where it's at. I could not agree more, my friends. Where you are is where it's at. Stay still until you are divinely moved. So in answer to the Eight of Swords or Eight of Wands card that I interpreted on this one, I think that Spirit is saying maybe pause until you are compelled to move and then move. So I enjoy when Spirit joins the conversation and does so like a little bit like cheeky. Oh, that's good times. Which deck do I want to use? I have so many, which sounds ridiculous, but I just do. Which deck do I use, Spirit? I'm going to use the Light Seers Tarot. I love the art on this deck. It is so nice. It's so beautiful. And it also has like a bit more, there are representations in it that are more resonant with relationships that we see now. Like you see same sex, you see just a more diverse cast of tarot characters undertaking their own hero's journey through the deck. So Spirit, can you please clarify this hero's journey using this deck here for my creative collective from March 24th, please? And thank you so very, very much. So this just popped into my head that some of you may be hearing from angels this week. There may be angels that are speaking to you. Discover your superpower. They're just, or you may be getting divine guidance in a way that kind of unlocks something for you. I was just looking at this card in passing, and I just got the image of Archangel Michael talking to someone and their inner child as well. Like it just, that was an aside. So that might be for somebody. All right, Spirit, thank you so much for that little nugget. I really appreciate it. Okay, so where you are at right now, I mean, Page of Pentacles and Four of Wands, I would say that that's not too shabby. I'm hearing celebrating the little things and knowing like the magic of the everyday. The magic of the everyday. Where you are is where it's at. Where you are is where it's at. The Four of Wands is also a relationship card in the Rider-Waite Tarot. So that card is also an 1111 card. So depending on what else shows up in this spread, it could indicate some kind of twin flame work or soulmate work. And work just meaning, I mean, this can apply to relationships. This can also apply to creative projects or undertakings. When I think of these readings, what I think of is I orient it more towards spiritual guidance that will help you, whether that is in regards to a relationship or your personal growth. I want to be oriented more towards growth mindset with this channel and attracting folks who want to grow spiritually as opposed to just come and, you know, join for a reading and get some info on another person and then dip, right? Like, I don't mind that people do that. Eight of Wands. I don't mind that people do that on other channels. It's entirely their prerogative, but I wanted my offering to the world to be valuable. Not that those aren't, but I wanted it to have a value that really helps to transform individuals. And, you know, when I do channeling, I pull from the ethers, I guess, as it were, and pull from the Akashic records as well. And I want that information to be based in guidance for others so that this kind of, it may just be a sentence or two that sort of pops out, that just like springs out at you. But I think that there is something to be said here for the way that I want folks to transform and leave my readings with a certain energy, right? So my rambling, just to say, oof, that was a lot, but just to say that you can see romance in this. It is not, I put no parameters on your interpretations of this. But yeah, so I will say it if I see the cards that represent relationship, because I think relationships are also a creative space too, right? Relationships are spaces and places where we build creative energy. They are, it's also, I find relationships are creative in that they're also generative of lessons of, they're also a way for us to channel sexual energy, and not just like the carnality of it, but also sort of transcend it into love more. You know, and again, thinking of David Hawkins' map of consciousness, and in one of his books, I think it was Recovery and Harmony or something along those lines, the blue cover. I used to work at a bookstore and everyone would come in and be like, it was blue, right? So it actually is blue, that book. But talking about that, so that's how relationship can be used as well. So it is also a creative force. It also, you know, when straight folks come together, and, you know, there is, so straight folks and, you know, folks who are also queer or trans, we all come into relationship to build different things for ourselves, and that is a creative act. And I think that that's also for folks who are starting families, right? There's a generative act. And I was going to say straight folks have kind of traditionally been seen as the vehicle through which that happens, but the world that we live in is so expansive that it includes so many different things and people now. So that is a thing. All right, so let's hop to it. I will stop talking. Thank you for that buffer, Spirit. Can you please help to clarify for my, yes, okay, perfect. The moon showed up in another reading in that exact same spot. So maybe there are some things that you're still seeking clarity about. Like, you kind of have an idea of where you'd like to go, and but there's a certain comfort that you take in where you are right now. Like, so this is the world that you're in right now, ahead of the journey. This is the call. So this is the journey beckoning you. So I think that there's some major third eye energy here, but you're inspired as hell. as you're on this journey, which is great. And then in the teaching position, teacher, mentor, guide is the moon. So I think there's something that's a little bit elusive. And that is what you are learning from this situation, perhaps, or this journey. And this can relate to journeys that you're in the midst of. You can be at any stage of this. So for those that are new to the hero's journey, it's basically the transformation of characters or of someone, I mean, anyone really, undertaking a journey that fundamentally changes who they are. And they come out the other end of that journey a hero. They come out the other end of that journey ahead in some way, ahead of, not thinking in hierarchical terms, but they are leaving behind things that no longer serve them. They are overcoming. It is a story of triumph. It is a story of triumph over adversity specifically. So I see in this particular spread, there's where you started. So you're in the Shire. This is the Shire card, the placement. And then this is really where, think of Gandalf showing up. And then this is what you're learning about yourself. And it could also be people coming to you as well, if it's particular cards like knights or pages or court cards, things like that. And then in this particular section here is the adversities that you face and the challenges that help you to know yourself better, right? So this is the minor tests. So I think of that position as, I've said it in other readings, so forgive me if it's repetitive, but, oh no, we lost the map, right? That's here, the card that goes here is like the big challenges, like the big ones. So it's like Saturn energy. This is more like Mercury retrograde energy, like minor inconveniences that are just kind of, minor inconveniences, but energies that you can work with and integrate for your best good. And then this position here, so this card, so Spirit, can you please continue to clarify this deck? And thank you for giving me such a wonderful pace with the shuffling here to be able to share this information. So beside the minor inconvenience test kind of energy, we have allies. So that's a beautiful card to get under allies. So folks or energies or lessons or awarenesses that are coming to you, that are coming to you in a protagonist energy, I should say. Protagonist energy. And the one beside it is more antagonist energy. Now, ultimately, you can have both and neither. The reason being is that energies of others or other energies, like energies that do not belong to you, so externally facing energies, are ultimately what you make of it. So when we say protagonist, it's just the energy that you may immediately feel. Yeah, so Six of Swords. I mean, yeah. So that's definitely, I feel like that's more of an internal facing energy, but we'll see what else we get here before I start to blab on more and make this reading any longer. I just saw some Empress, which does not shock me because there's a heck of a lot of Empress energy in here. Okay, Eight of Wands. I mean, oh no, I just snorted. Oh, oh gosh. Anyway, okay. I'm a little embarrassed. Anyway, sometimes I snort when I laugh, and that's the first time it's happened on camera, and my face is going so red, but that's fine. So these two cards here are really the big challenge, like the Saturn challenge, right? The Saturn challenge, and then sort of the Jupiter outcome, I guess, is a way of thinking about it, right? So the big conflict, the big crescendo, and then what comes after that, right? So the energy that comes after that. So it goes like this, really, which is, oh my gosh, that's amazing energy. I'm good with that. That's fabulous. Okay. It's fabulous. Yes, Queen. Seven of Cups. Just one more to clarify. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So, what I am getting here is that there is... I feel like ultimately there's a trail that your inspiration is calling you down, and you can choose to listen to that. You can choose to do whatever you wish with it, right? I think though that there's a lot that's hidden from you, and this also could have to do, the Moon card is Pisces energy. I tend to read it as Cancer because it's the ruler of the 4th house, which is Cancer's house. So it could be Cancer, Pisces. It could be a water sign in general. So Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. But with that, just pause to that for a second. The moon also represents illusions. And the way I'm reading it here is that there's perhaps an illusion about emotion, an illusion about what will happen or what has happened in regards to emotion. What has happened? So the reason why I'm thinking about what has happened is because the 6 of Swords is in the protagonist energy, and that's sort of the moving away energy. Like, you experience the conflict and you're like, you know what? I literally have no choice. Taking the clothes on, just what you have, take what you can carry. Oof. That's really tough energy. I'm just thinking about the Ukraine and the things that I've been seeing coming out of there. I don't have family in the Ukraine right now, but my grandmother's family is Ukrainian on my mother's side. So I'm half German and Ukrainian. And yeah, it's heavy energy to sift through right now. And if that's the hardest thing that I have to do right now is to sift through that energy, then it's not, that is not hard compared to what others are having to deal with right now. But I'm getting this energy of just you've left, and there's not much that you have left with you. Like, there's not a whole lot left. And really the only thing that's carrying you forward is your thoughts. Now there's only 3 crows here carrying you forward. The others have kind of taken off, right? So you think about this, the 5 of Swords was the one that precedes this, and the 7 of Swords is afterwards. And both of those tend to denote mental conflict. And the 7 of Swords showed up here. But this movement forward, it tells me that, there's truths that you're recognizing regarding your emotions, and you're moving through them. You're moving past them. Because this is in the protagonist energy, I'm getting a sense that this awareness that you're moving away from, this knowledge that you're moving away from, is really there. I think the test that you've been through or could be going through, again, more moon energy in here, is that there was something or someone kind of taking your energy, right? Like, you weren't entirely sure. You weren't entirely sure at first, but, seeing Judgment here, Pluto energy, there's a transformation that you've undergone. So this is where I'm thinking it's maybe more past energy, because the Pluto energy kind of is bookended by these Swords energies, and this one is the moving away. So I think that the protagonist energy of moving away, you may think, what I'm getting this to, you may think that leaving conflict behind is like cheating. You may think that you're cheating, or you're taking the shortcut by honoring your boundaries and yourself, and just kind of saying, no, thank you. No, thanks. I can't. Right. But the transformation that's taking place here is the awareness that that's okay. Is the awareness that there's nothing really wrong with that. Right. I think also that you're recognizing that there's a part of yourself that you lost, and leaving something is honoring what you left behind. The person that you left behind, that you were at that point, right? At one point I was in, this was in 2007. I left this relationship, but it was a very toxic relationship. It was, I'm not at liberty to go into great detail here because I'm not interested in spilling tea. I'm reading tarot. That's, but it was a very toxic relationship that had physically harmful aspects to it towards me. And what I'm seeing here is that I'm getting that energy just because of the Pluto and anyways, I'm getting some of that energy here. So I don't know if I'm connecting with someone who will read this that has gone through that or is going through that right now. But there's a part of yourself that you really have to honor after those situations. There's a part of yourself that you need to, and not honor just in terms of boundaries, but honor in terms of celebrating who you had to be in those situations in order to free yourself. Because the freeing yourself sucks. And it sucks because you lose a sense of who you are afterwards, right? that you lose that sense of who you are. It becomes very elusive. So even if, you know, you're on a journey where you're inspired and you're wanting to move forward and you are moving forward, you're feeling that fire, it's important to remember that the tests that show up are not the thing itself that has passed you, that's passed you by. Like it's gone. That thing that is these are the minor inconveniences. This is not the huge tests, right? This is the minor inconveniences. And I think it's important to just honor the part of you for a period of time that had to be very aware of the fact that you couldn't tell the difference between the minor inconveniences and the big conflicts. And it's not a matter of picking your battles. It's that when you're exposed to enough conflict and when you're exposed to some measure of violence, be it physical, emotional, what have you, this aspect is very, it can take some time, and you do have to just take a step back and honor the part of you that, that didn't know that difference for a while. And I know violence is very triggering. I also know how common it is, unfortunately. And I think that it's something that isn't always talked about in tarot. It's like, oh, don't go there. That's low vibe. I'm not afraid to shy away from those types of topics. And in this case, I just want to say that if there's someone watching who experienced that in any capacity, it's okay. It's okay. Like, you're not only moving on, but you're moving on, and your ally, your companion, that's what this position is the transformation that's taken place since. The transformation that's taken place since, you know. And judgment can also be, you know, in the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, it is the angel calling the dead back to heaven. And I think that what I'm seeing here is not that, you know, there's not a part of you that's being called to heaven. There's a part of you that is that heaven is being called into, that heaven is being brought into. So I think that's something that you may need to hear and know, and that in this one suitcase that you have or had, you know, in part of this test, this lone suitcase is going to grow into so much more. Why do I say that? Because this is fucking beautiful. Forgive my language. If anyone shows this to my granny, I'm sorry, granny. But the energy here, so the sort of biggest challenge, the Saturn challenge, as it were. I don't know why I had to deepen my voice to say it, but it makes it sound like this. That's the challenge, is 8 of Wands. So I want to say what I'm thinking here is not necessarily moving things too quickly, but I think the big challenge here will be following your heart, but also following your heart while also listening to the trail of inspiration without don't let passion run away with you. And that could be what happened in the past that you're moving through. But the reason why I'm so excited, despite my aside here for this, whoever this was for in this vignette, is because the 10 of Cups is underneath, right? This is in the riches after conflict and after hardship. The 10 of freaking Cups. Like, that's just a beautiful energy, right? So what you've been through, this is the other side of it, and it's okay. It's okay that you weren't really sure. You had a single suitcase with you, packed with just what you could carry, but you gained the world. You gained the world. And it could be that you gained the people that mean the world to you. You gained the kind of relationship or relationships, or you are gaining that, or you are gaining an awareness, the feeling, you know, life is a melody. Life is a melody? Yeah. That's really the energy that you're in post journey, like as the conflict comes to a conclusion. And if 8 of Wands is the conflict, that's not really 5 of Wands or anything along those lines. This is I think this is perhaps a feeling of conflict or feeling conflicted. But because of the Swords energy here, what I'm seeing is that this is, if you are conflicted, okay, if you are feeling conflicted, this energy is largely something that was in your head. So this isn't coming from outside of you, right? This is not coming from outside of you. And then, you know, the road back, so the journey back. So we've embarked upon the journey, we're going through, and then we go through this conflict and we get to the other side. We learn all these lessons and come out the other side of it. And then on the way back, the things that we pick up and take, you know, I think about the Camino de Santiago and that trail. I had a friend who did the trail. at least a chunk of it. And she has so many stories from it. And I admire her so much. So Starfish, if you're watching this, hi, buddy. So that is what I'm thinking of, is taking that journey, that like it's almost a sacred rite of passage after immense conflict. And I think that what you're picking up on that trail is your Ace of Cups again. And I think that when it comes to the moon, I know that the Ace of Swords and the swords are technically, specific sword cards are technically clarity, but from the moon, I'm getting that there's like, this is the clarity of emotion, where you were really confused, and that this is the sort of the thing that you were trying to learn from, and that would become your guide. I think that it is guiding you back home. This is your lighthouse. This is your light back. This is love that's inspiring you, you know, with the wands, the Ace of Wands energy here. It's inspiring you. More wands energy, more wands energy. 1, 2, 3. It's really helping you to understand your emotion and to get clarity on things like love and passion, and knowing that it is safe for you to love. Knowing that it is safe for you to love, which is mighty convenient because the Knight of Cups is here. So this could be somebody with an offer of love. Now this is sort of, once this placement is, once you've completed this journey, once you've gone on this journey, be it related to an actual event, a place, a lesson, an epiphany, a person, anything along those lines. This position right here is you've made the journey, you're coming back. And this is, you're back where you started. So you're back at the Shire, and I'm hearing the world is your oyster. The world is your oyster. Amen to that. 9 of Pentacles and 7 of Cups. The world is your oyster, which is really beautiful energy with the kind of conflict that you came from and started from. So that is truly amazing. That's truly lovely. And again, this Knight of Pentacles can be a person that's waiting for you and you don't even know. This could be an opportunity that's waiting for you and you don't even know. This could be your energy, and you know, you are aware of it in bits and pieces, but then it comes to full fruition. So Knight of Cups. Knight energy is also forward moving energy and momentum. So this could be that the world is your oyster and you're just so, hang on, let me do this here. I'm trying to get it so that it shows it all. The world is your oyster and you are in absolute love with that. There's something to truly love about the journey that you've taken. So, wowza. That was a bit. That was a chunk, eh? Oh, my A's. Some days I feel I'm Canadian, and then other days I feel like I'm aggressively Canadian, and that was just an aggressive Canadian aphorism. But what I'm seeing here is this really, really wonderful journey of following your inspiration and kind of falling into your feelings a bit about it. So it could be that with this full moon, the Virgo full moon was on March 18th. Now, full moons, we tend to release things. We set intentions and we're like, put it out into the world, right? I see full moons in my mind is sort of releasing the place that a project or a relationship was in and moving into, you know, the new one, and laying the groundwork for it, depending on the sign that activates specific energy around it. But with the Virgo full moon, there's a kind of attention to detail, I think. There's an attention to detail. And with this energy here, I'm seeing that attention to detail could be related to trusting yourself again. I think trusting yourself again. I don't typically pull these cards, but I'm going to pull one of these in just a second. But I want to make sure. So this, I want to make sure, yeah. I'm seeing, though, that, so this could be Chiron energy, too. This could be, so for those of you that don't know, Chiron is an asteroid, but depending on its place in your chart and the house that it's in, it gives you a significant amount of information about what you're here to heal in your life and how that might be. So Chiron energy is very much like, what can you teach other people to show them the way based on the really hard lessons that you've had to learn. So I have Chiron in Gemini in my first house, and then I have Lilith in my second house. And Lilith in Cancer, but the Chiron in my first house is about body, and as a trans person that makes total freaking sense, right? Like a lot of that makes a lot of sense. It's like click, click, like it just, there's something about that that makes a whole lot of sense. And like struggles with weight too when I was younger and not feeling very comfortable in my body for a variety of reasons. But I'm seeing that there's Chiron energy here, and I'm getting that it could be related to this here. So I think that there's the magic zone, the exhilaration of discombobulation, and then celebrate the sacred gap, give thanks for buffer time. But then crowning that is this energy of discover your superpower, right? So I think that the gap that from where you were wanting to be to where you are now to where you were, I think that those, that kind of, I feel like there's a gap. Give yourself the gap year, I'm hearing, but the gap year is more so related to the UK and taking a year off after you're done high school, because we're forcing children to grow up when they are still babies. I mean, at 16, I had to have my entire university career mapped out. What? Like, and just like applying for school and knowing which one. And I was off to university at 17. Yikes, right? But I think there's something that you're learning or that you learned in the gap. There's something that it gave you. And there's something that it gave you. And I think this celebrate the sacred gap is definitely, I feel like it's related to this challenge, this, I guess, this conflicting energy in you about something moving fast or your forward momentum. So I'm getting more momentum, right? Like there may be something that you're not trusting the momentum because of this part, right? Like the minor inconveniences, the companions and allies and, you know, the kind of frenemies, the not great people that you've encountered along the way, right? Picking up all of the lessons from that and then choosing what to do with it next. But I feel like there's momentum that you're not necessarily trusting, but in the end, it's still the 10 of Cups. So it is trustworthy. And this is like this, I mean, it reads like twin flame energy. It also reads like soulmate energy. But just remember, regardless of where you are is where it's at. Stay still until you are divinely moved. So this is really giving yourself a break. And I know that that was a theme from yesterday too. 3131 just came on the time there. So giving yourself that pause, right? That breathing time in between things is so important. Like my Aries and Mars and my Gemini rising make me like the poster child for impulsivity at times. And I'm getting much better as I age. I'm 35. Oh my God. As I get older, it's getting a lot easier to see with clarity the importance of those pauses. There are times where my excitement just like gets the best of me and I'm so pumped and yeah. But there is something really important about staying grounded. So do not hesitate to give yourself that pause and to recognize the timing of everything and the importance of it, right? Because there may be something that you're aware of. I think about timing in terms of, for example, the other day, a stranger, and I posted about this on the art page for this, like the Instagram page for this, but someone came and gave me this lovely little stone that has a little nice angel on it. It's a beautiful, and on the back it says keep shining. Now I've been doubting doing readings here and figuring out how to do channeling and all of that. Well, I know how to do channeling, but how do I do it here without it being, you know, sanctimonious and pontificating, and how do I do all of that? But this here is really great energy. This is excellent energy, and the energy of it reminds me of divine timing, because had I not been at that exact place at that exact time, I would have missed out on something that was just a really lovely token. And I keep it here as a sort of reminder of the connectedness of all of us, and the connectedness of really great energy and random acts of kindness, and how, you know, the butterfly effect, right? One butterfly flaps its wings in North America and then it can cause like a wind in you know, the Mediterranean or on the African coasts. Like it's really just that ripple effect. So there's that energy at work here. So what I'm going to do is pull a chakra card. Now, usually we know, we have an idea. We can do these readings and see what energy centers are most impacted, what energy centers need the most assistance. But I don't want to make educated guesses here. I really want this to just be about the internal journey for the person watching, because I feel like it's kind of like spying a little bit, although pulling for whomever while I do these, is not necessarily like you're showing up to watch it. So is it? But I'm getting this hesitation, like someone doesn't want to, like, they're like, no, I don't want you to see this part of me. Give me the guidance. And no, you don't get access to all of the rest of it. So I'm feeling something about that there too. So Spirit, can you just give me a card that helps me to give guidance to my creative collective based on moving through the energy that was right here in terms of minor inconveniences and just how to best tend to their energy to move forward in it. So thank you so much. No. Freedom. I release all tears, sadness, and the attachment to closing up and playing small in order to allow my throat to open fully. I open my throat and allow myself to breathe, sing, laugh, and cry. My voice is an instrument through which I heal myself and others. And the message is I heal. So that's really beautiful energy. I'll pull one more. One more. Two. Okay, so 2 for heart chakra. So the heart center. So ease and grace. Love is the gentle, powerful presence that radiates through me when I quieten and deepen. It is safe for me to be gentle and graceful. I follow my heart's desire and take the path of least resistance. It's easy for me to be gentle and graceful when I connect to the rhythms of the earth and the universe. I flow gently and easily. And then the other one here is harmony. So my mind, body, and spirit work in harmony with each other, aligned with both my will and the divine will. Divine timing. I have balance in my life with room for both pleasure and purpose. My giving and receiving of love and abundance are in perfect balance. I am balanced. That's really beautiful energy. I'm glad that I did that. I hope that it was of value to someone. Now, I usually pull the Miracles Now deck to give you a little bit of extra guidance. So I'm going to do that now. This is Miracles Now, the deck by Gabrielle Bernstein. So I'm going to pull an affirmation from here to really move you through the rest of the week. We're kind of at the Thursday. We're at the near the end of the week in terms of the business week, I should say. So Spirit, what messages do you have for my wonderful creative collective for March 24th to start to close out this reading? So there's 3 things. Oof. And they all look visually related, which is really interesting. The key to getting what I want is to ask for it. The key to getting what I want is to ask for it. That's really great energy. How often do we just expect people to know, right? And I'm hearing that it's also important to be aware of that. So the 6 of Swords is here, but the 5 of Swords is like that. 5 of Swords and 5 of Wands, specifically 5 of Swords reminds me of like winning at all costs. And just remember that when you ask for it, it's not about winning. That relationships are not a forum for you to win things, right? Like that's not how that works. Yeah, that's not quite how that works. So I allow people to witness their behavior so I can help them move beyond it. I allow people to witness their behavior so I can help them move beyond it. This is a great affirmation for codependent behaviors where you may feel compelled to change people and where you have to like give up parts of yourself to alter their behavior or, make them change. A great book because it's in reach. If you're in that place or in that position with somebody, this book is really good to help. My bookshelf was within reach. So if you're facing any kind of codependent situation, that's a really great book, as is resources like books about codependency and, Al-Anon for me in my teens was really important. So it really helped me move through a lot of stuff. So there was that too. So the additional card here, and Al-Anon is, for those who are wondering, it's not the same necessarily as AA. AA is for those who have issues directly with alcohol. Al-Anon is for families and family members and friends of those impacted by addiction, specifically alcoholism. So what it does is gives you a way to move through the codependent behaviors that can come with that, where you're compelled to change someone to make them a specific way. So that's really, I don't know for whom that is important, but if you're looking for resources, those are great places to find them. So here we go. Yeah, my happiness can be measured by the level of my faith in love. My happiness can be measured by the level of my faith in love. So this isn't necessarily just putting faith in people. This is also putting faith in your capacity to love, right? Your capacity to love, your confidence, where you're at now. So I think that is really, that's a beautiful energy. And they all kind of look like they come from the same space. So it could be that there are guides that are talking to you and you're getting these energies consistently. So this is just perhaps a highlight of those energies in your life. And so I'm going to pull a final set of cards from the Notes from the Universe on Love and Connection deck from and by Mike Dooley. So, oh, thank you, Spirit, both of them. Okay, I absolutely love this. I love messages of support and love and the compassion piece, and it just, oh, it's so good. It flows so well. And a lot of heart-centered energy, you know, like a lot of green heart energy being healed here and here, especially this release all tears, sadness, and attachment to closing up and playing small in order to allow my throat to open fully. This is a beautiful energy. So what came up was you're being watched by loving eyes. So you have a guardian angel, from what I'm understanding, and that kind of ties back into what I saw here. There's angels communicating with you. You're being watched by loving eyes. How beautiful is that? It could be a guide, it could be a guardian angel, it could be an angel that's watching over you right now, but it's happening. 4040 was just on the time. So what if you're actually an ancient gladiator of love and joy who agreed to visit Earth during these primitive years to spark some new thinking, share a few smiles, and help others discover they too are awesome? Just saying, the universe. P.S. Up for a joust? Of course, with rubber thingies. I love these cards. So you're being watched by loving eyes. So I feel like I'm getting the feeling that people may feel like they're being watched, or have been watched by eyes that kind of are more like this energy. But you're being watched by more loving eyes. So enjoy your extraordinary uniqueness. Enjoy your extraordinary uniqueness. Do you know what you've created? No, besides an intergalactically known saunter named after you. Inspiration in the eyes that have watched you, hope in the minds that have admired you, and love in the hearts that have known you. But you might ease up on your sachet before someone gets hurt. Not bad, kiddo. Not bad at all. The universe. I love that. So there's something to be said for standing in your power. This 9 of Pentacles energy, right? Is gentle nudges from Spirit. And gentle nudges, like so passionate. Whoop. There we go. So passionate. What you give will come back. What you give will come back. When in doubt, give, let them have it. Surrender, make peace. When there's no doubt, give, let them have it. Surrender, make peace. So when in doubt, give, let them have it. Surrender, make peace. It almost strikes me as a take on the Ho'oponopono prayer, which is, I think, I'm sorry, forgive me, thank you, I love you. I'm probably mixing up the order of that, but so when in doubt, give, let them have it, surrender, make peace. When there's no doubt, give, let them have it, surrender, and make peace. Did I make life too easy? Signed, the universe. What you give will come back. Isn't that the fear that we always have when we think about putting love into the world? That it's not that it's going to come back for us, right? Come back for us. Oof. That it's not going to come back. But I feel like there is love on the table, and that can be passion for career. That can be an actual person, right? Knight of Cups. So take this energy for what you will, but do remember where you are is where it's at. There's divine timing at play here. And all of this is in service to you discovering your superpower. Allow or access 100% of your mojo. 4343. And at that, my friends, I will leave it there for Thursday, March 24th, and we'll go right into the day, and I will see you tomorrow, same bat time, same bat place. All right. Take care, everybody.